Hi, Next to Change, Vivian here. I want to talk a little bit about letting go of the outcome. You know, there are a lot of things that we want in life, and hopefully you're in faith about the things that you want, and that you have strong faith about it. When we go and we set our intentions towards something that we really want to manifest, we really want to see it present itself in the world. A lot of times we pray about it, we set our intention towards it, we ask for it in prayer, and then we move forward in faith. Now, we do take action and we do the things that we're supposed to do, but sometimes when we try so hard, we set up a resistance in our faith. Because if you kind of pray about something, or you expect something, or you set your intention towards it and you're moving towards that thing, you know, if you've set your intention on it and put your faith behind it, then you believe right then and there that it's done. And you do all the steps that you know to do, and um, you sit, and then you wait and you hear the still small voice, and then you take your next step or your next move, and you keep going until the thing is done. But sometimes when you start really like worrying about it or trying to just make it happen, in your own strength, you try to invent and create things, and we can create things and we can force things, and a lot of times the things that we force are the things that we end up wishing that we hadn't that we didn't get, right? Because we forced it and we forced it, and some of those things maybe they just weren't for us, and in the end they did not bring us the satisfaction that we thought that it would, you know, or it turned out to be a bad thing. So, you know, letting go of the outcome has a lot to do with your faith. So again, when you put your intention on something or you pray for something, you might not know how it's going to happen. But if you start consuming yourself with how is this going to happen? I can't see how this is going to happen. I wonder when it's going to happen. You know, how is it going to happen? And just when you start doing all these things in your mind, it really begins to set up a resistance to your faith, because now you're not really in faith and in trust. You've crossed over to the other side, which is worry and fear. And worry and fear can kind of nullify the things that you're doing, and it can nullify your faith and your intention of what you're doing, and it can bring despair. It brings doubt and disappointment and despair. So, and then also the worry of it happening. A lot of times something is going to happen, but if you just ride it, let's just say you asked for something, and then you just want it, 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 want it. Pretty soon you begin to build an altar to it, right? It becomes what's the word I'm looking for? An idol, like an idol for you. That's all you see, that's all you want, and you make it bigger now and more important than it is. And you know then now you have not let go of the outcome, because in your mind you can only get it the way you want it. It can only look the way you want it to look, it can only come the way you want it to come. And then your thing is, when you're tied to the outcome, then the force of the Almighty, you know not that it can't work, but you step in and you interfere with that because you might be forcing something, or you might be so holding on to the outcome of that. And you might be holding on to the outcome of something that might not even be something that's good for you, or it might not be that right fit, or the timing might not be right. So if you are just holding on to that outcome, that means that you're not trusting in the faith that you put out there. So, in other words, I'm going to really oversimplify this. So, in other words, if you're saying, in your mind, you imagine this green house, and that's the thing that you want, this green house, and you come across a greenhouse, and now you're forcing that thing because you're tied to that outcome, you know and now it doesn't look like it's going your way. So now you put your hand in and you start putting in your ingredients and stirring the pot, instead of trusting and believing that the opportunity that's for you is going to open up. Maybe it's not that greenhouse, maybe it's another greenhouse. Maybe it's not a greenhouse, maybe it's a yellow house. Maybe the yellow house is better than the greenhouse, but you might get, you have enough money to paint the yellow house green. I mean, I know I'm oversimplifying it, but he who has ears to hear, let him hear, because sometimes you just have to release it. You put it out there, your faith is behind it, and you just have to trust that everything is working out for you. Okay? So, Vivian here at Next to Change. You be the next to change.